This is an Ash White podcast coming to you from the Milne Road Studios, Redwood Park, in Adelaide, Australia. Yeah. Hey, everyone. We've got a young fella here called Sonny Lerm. Sonny, how are you, bud?
I am good, thank you. How are you?
I'm very well. It's Friday night. We're at the Milne Road Studio. We've got a couple of beers in front of us, haven't we, to get us through this podcast?
Yes, here we are finally. I'm happy to be here. It's been a long time waiting. We've been talking about it for so long, and now here I am finally.
Well, welcome to the Milne Road Studios. You make it look better. It's good to have you here. And, hey, let's have some fun. It's Friday night.
Excellent. Looks good in here too.
What a busy week, eh? We get belted up quite a bit, don't we, at work?
Yes. We got beaten down throughout the week, and a lot of early starts and late finishes, but that's the way it is. So that's what we do. And this week this one here was a good week because everything went smoothly, and today was a good day. We went and seen this lady that I haven't seen in a long time at Seaview, and she's been in and out of hospital. And this lady, every time I see her, smile on her face, and she's always happy and bubbly, and it just makes you want to, give that little bit more when you work and just make her day, So it's good.
I think they always said, didn't they, when you were learning, just do a little bit better and make it nice and clean, and you'll always get referral work, People never really know exactly what they're going to get, but you leave it nice, clean and tidy, and you'll have work forever. It's that easy. It's a different world now at the moment with a few of the internationals coming here and working. Site's a little bit dirtier, site's a little bit more congested.
Yes.
Does drag on you from time to time, especially if you're busy with bookings, and I know you do plenty of bookings, so every hour is relevant because you've got 8 hours to try to see all these people that are booked in, and most of it's remedial, which is hard.
Yeah. There's not a lot of time in the day, definitely for sure. And now that we've got the daylight savings, it gets dark at about 6 o'clock, and
A lot earlier.
Yeah, and it's not enough time at all. And no one wants you to start early because you can't make noise and before the sun comes out. So what do you do?
No, we're in the glass industry, aren't we? We're both professional installers for a large company here in Adelaide, and we've been in this department for quite a while now, and it's hard work. You take one step forward and you go back three, and you get up the next day in the shower. I do, and I think, God, I was here yesterday. It's like Groundhog Day. You sort of get in that shower, wash your hair again, and then you get into your boots and your black gear and off to work again. And man, you get beaten. The next day you might get 2 steps forward and 1 step back.
Yeah. Now, look, it's not something that I ever thought I would do and was planning on doing, but it sort of just fell on my lap. As your life progresses, some things that you don't think that you wanted to do when you were younger, you just so happen to jump into this occupation, and then you love it. And what I'm doing, I love, so I'm just gonna keep doing it, I suppose.
Keep pushing forward for sure.
Yeah, that's it.
I think it's a honest industry. The glass industry is either right or wrong. You can't glue it or screw it. You can put silicone on it and hold 2 bits together, but like every other trade, you can plane it down, you can cut it down. Most of the glass that we deal with is grade A safety glass. You can't cut it again once it's been treated. You can if it's laminated. But that's a different beast again. That's a softer material. But it's hard work. You always, you listen to Joe Rogan, all that he does a little bit more, makes things harder every day to keep him honest. We're in that industry that you have to strive every day to perform. You're in the theatre every day. You've got to turn up on time. You got people waiting at home for you. You've got to do a good job. You've got to do a clean job. You've got to either make that job better than it was before you got there,
Yep. Yep.
and leave with, the lady you're talking about down at Hove that, is smiling and happy that you're there. And, you're making these people's days. You're actually making their world better. Their
Yeah.
doors working better. They feel better about themselves. And that's part of the journey. That's part of being the journeyman, the tradie on the road. And, you might have 5, 6, 7, 8 different offices every day that you attend. And luckily, we do a lot of work down the coast, the south coast and the mid coast there. And, some of our offices that we work in daily are magnificent, aren't they?
No, they are. They are. And you think that, these houses back in the day used to be these small windows, basic windows, and now we've got large pane pieces of glass as a window, and it's huge. But they've, the people down at the coast, they've got these, landscapes that they can see. So there's no point having something so big in your general house here in the suburbs. So
that's to look at the back of a tree or you've got these static views of the ocean or whatever that just go forever. Whatever the climate is, whether it's raining or whether it's 42 degrees, where you just got people walking their dog, riding out the front. It's a good place, the beach, isn't it?
It's a lovely place, and I love the beach. And back when I first started working, they when I worked, when I first started working, it was at the farm actually, and then I moved to the factory, and then after the factory, I'm out here. So we used to work on every hot day afterwards. It was just the beach all the time, every day. After 40 degrees, I called my wife and said, "I'm coming home. Let's go to the beach," and we just go for a dip. It was lovely.
And we've got good beaches here, haven't we? There's nothing that bites us except for the great white that every now and then rocks up at West Beach and makes a choice for dinner. But
well, my daughter, my stepdaughter, she was in the water one time. This was years back, and we were swimming, and then she
prepare for landing.
There's the planes. There they go. Yeah, she was in the water and she started carrying on and crying and yelling, saying, something bit me. And we said, "Oh, whatever. And then she came outside and she had line marks all over her arms. And I thought, oh, no, I felt bad. I thought, geez, I just told her to toughen up. And here she is getting stung by a jellyfish. So
really?
Yeah, it was a jellyfish, but I wasn't sure what one. It was no box jellyfish for sure, but because she was all right after that. But we didn't really...
I think you've got a wee on those ones, don't you?
I did ask her, have to do a little wee on on the arm, but we didn't do it. So
I remember back in the late 70s, early 80s there, we had a place down at Selleck's Beach, and you had Aldinga down a little bit further, and that had, the reef and all that there. But we would find the blue octopuses there, and they were poisonous as hell. We'd bring them back to Mum and Dad and say, hey, look what we got, What are you doing playing with those things?
Yeah.
You'll end up suffocating or something, But our beaches are good. Our beaches here are generally pretty safe. If you stepped on a skate or something, you'd be unlucky. You'd probably cut yourself on a rock over anything else, wouldn't you?
Yeah. Well, the old man used to take me to Thompson's Beach to go crabbing, raking. Yep. So he used to give us a bucket, and he'd have some floaties on the bucket, and then he'll strap. Oh.
Hello? Hang on, who's that? Just 2 seconds.
Who's that on the phone?
That's a Gregory Arthur Tansell.
Gregory.
How are you, mate?
I'm good. How are you? When's the last time I seen you? I can't even...
I reckon that was Wally's. Yeah, wake, mate.
Yeah.
How have you been?
I've been all right. Yeah, been good. Having a good time, And you?
You haven't. That's the main thing, mate. Yeah.
I do see you around driving in the van.
Do ya?
Yeah, and I yell out, but you don't see me. You just tunnel vision.
I'm just going a bit deaf, mate. You know what it's like when you're 58.
Oh, that's it.
Deaf and blind.
What's been going on, Gregory Arthur?
Not much, mate. Just working the casual 60 hours a week and watching grandkids in between.
All right, you're a grandpa now. How good's that? That's fantastic.
It is good, mate. Keeps you young.
Yeah, we've got the sunny Lerm tonight, Greg. We got him on a podcast up here.
Oh, good stuff. That's good.
Yep, just chatting away, you know, and
just chatting away. That's it.
Lubricating the vocal cords as we go. So that's good.
Lubricating the throat, mate.
That's it. That's it.
It was the Friday afternoon amber to keep it all loose.
That's right. You need that, mate, just to get by.
How many grandkids you got now, Greg?
I've got 2, mate. 3 and 18 months.
Wow, how fantastic!
Wow. Oh, they're good, mate. Yep. They're good. Yep. They're good. They keep you young.
It's a new life, isn't it? It's the third part, is it?
It is, mate. That's the third part.
Makes us older each time we do it, eh? That's the problem.
Yeah, that's right. And then there's retirement, and then it'll be more of watching kids, I think.
Yep. Once you retire, that's it. Straight for the kids, you know. And
the kids, the caravan.
Oh, yeah. So, you go away as well, do you?
Well, I tried to, mate. We went away to Berry on Easter.
I did notice a few photos, yeah.
Yeah, and left on the Thursday, came back on the Tuesday with COVID, so that was good fun.
Oh, great. Beautiful. How'd you go? How'd you go with the COVID?
It wasn't too bad. First day was a bit rough, but after that it was all right.
Oh, lovely. Yeah, some people feel it, some people don't, you know. You just don't know what you have.
Yeah.
Could be
it's
COVID.
Different for everyone, isn't it?
Yeah, when I had it, it was quite bad. I had it for you had to stay home for 2 weeks, but I had it for 3 days, pretty much, the feeling. And then after that, I was mowing the lawn, washing the car. Everything was spotless at home because I had nothing to do.
Good on you, mate. Got a bit bored, Sonny.
Yeah. That's it.
Oh, that's good, mate. How's your family?
The family's going good, yeah. And we're not getting any more. No, that's it.
No more extensions.
No, that's it for me. I am done with the 3 girls and the 1 boy. That was it. Well, after the 3 girls, I said that was it. No more.
And then you had a boy.
And then I had a boy, and then I said, all right, that's it, final. No more.
Yeah.
So it's great.
Yeah, that's plenty, mate.
Yeah. No, my boy's 3 years old. My daughter's 10, and then my other 2, they're 22 and 20. So they're off to doing their own thing now, you know.
Oh, you'll be able to kick them out soon.
Oh, well, they did leave, and then they decided to come back. They realised how good it was back home.
Yeah, that's it. Keep them at home as long as you can, mate.
Greg, what about the very sad news of losing our greatest brother, Wally? I just thought we'd touch base on that while we're all together here tonight, and it was a huge loss, wasn't it? I remember the morning when the email came through or the text came through on the phone, and it was total devastation to lose, you know, our oldest brother in the group. And,
it was, mate.
It did affect us all, and you know, you're sort of still dealing with his loss every day. You know, everybody says, get the Gooma, you know. Like,
oh, yes.
You know,
that's right. Where's Wally?
So there's a lot of good stuff, you know, that we're all repeating, and you know, to keep it all in our world, because you know, I certainly miss him, and I didn't.
Yeah, I do too, mate.
I didn't work with him every day as much as you guys did, but we were lucky enough to have a couple of trips away in the bush, and he's a big loss.
Yeah,
he is a big loss, mate.
Yeah, with Wally, that day was like you said, total devastating day. I woke up, I think it was at 3-4 o'clock in the morning to go to the toilet, and I thought, you know what, I never usually check my phone, and I thought, you know what, I'll check my phone, see what's going on, and I had a message. And it was and it wasn't from Linda, it was from Wally's number, and and she said,
okay,
and she said, and because I was supposed to be working with him that next day, so she thought she'd message me and let me know, and and I read the message and I thought, wow, this can't be real.
No, it was one right out of the realms, wasn't it? It sure was
devastating
to lose our brother, our oldest brother, he certainly had a good influence on all of us, and the amount of knowledge the guy had was incredible.
Taught me a lot, mate.
Yeah, he didn't have soft
But
hands for timber, but boy, he could belt the aluminium around.
he sure could, mate. I remember, I was in Exmouth that morning and I got a message. Actually, it was a missed call, I think. It was from Linda and Joe. And straight away I thought, there's something going on, And then, got the message. And not good. Not good.
No, I couldn't believe it too. And I couldn't message anyone that night as well because I couldn't believe myself. So how can I tell someone that our old mate's passed when I didn't believe it myself, So it took me about an hour till I messaged someone back, and then, I messaged Linda back, and then she messaged me back again, and that sort of made everything sort of sink in.
Clear.
And then that's when I started calling everyone and letting them know, and everyone had the same response, What? Are you serious?
Yes, mate. He was a good man. A good man.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yep.
we can all have a taste of that, can't we? You got a beer in your hand, Greggy?
I sure have, mate.
All right, let's toast the great Wally Sable, mate, our Ukraine friend. He was a mentor to all of us. And we'll have a sip to Wally Sable.
Yep. Cheers to that.
Cheers to that.
Good on you.
Beautiful.
That's what he would always say.
Yeah, get me the Guma now.
It cuts it away.
How's Greg? We're on a bit of a tradie podcast tonight. We're just talking a little bit of shop here without the names. And how you going? You busy? 60 hours?
We are flat out, mate. Always flat out. Lots of builders.
That's fantastic.
Sometimes too much work.
How's the quality going down there? Is it good?
Oh, it's not too bad. Some days it's good. Some days it's a bit rough, But I'll tell you one thing, it's getting heavier and heavier.
Yes, the double glazing is getting very bad, isn't it?
That's right. We are into the double glaze, and I think that we are getting into the triple glaze now, but we haven't got it yet.
Oh, no.
So prepare yourself
Hopefully
for that.
Hopefully I'm retired by then.
Yeah, hopefully I'm. I think there has been a big push. I've also been involved with trying to push very hard on the safety side of overweight material across the board, not just where we are and not where you are, and but to make sure that I want to really try to hold some of these companies accountable where you can use a crane. Use a fucking crane. Let's just put that to bed straight away.
If you can do it, why not?
Yeah, don't use the shoulders of the boys, it's just ridiculous.
Yeah.
You got to have some time with the grandkids, that's one of the big things that was with Wally,
Yeah.
We don't want to repeat that again,
No.
It's not fair, really, that he didn't get a long enough chance at it. But we'll leave that one alone. But at the end of the day, I think it's a matter of trying to hold businesses accountable to do the right thing more often, not just let the boys on the road deal with it the best they can. If you know that the glass and material is going to weigh 142 kilo, do the maths. You know how heavy it is. You know how many levels you're going to go up. Get a crane. That's right. Get a crane if you need to, and crane it up, and then let the labour work on the floor or the second
Take it from
floor.
there.
Yeah, but don't bust the boys before it gets up there.
No, we do use a crane a lot at our work, which is good.
Love it.
It's very good, mate.
Endorse that 100%, Greggy. That's fantastic.
Oh, yes, mate. Yep, we sure do, because you want to be in one piece when you finish your work life.
Yeah, you want a little bit for later, and that's a real big thing for me, Greg. I've got about 10 years left, and I've got a little way to go yet, and I know my left shoulder is pretty bad at the moment, so I want the other boys coming through as well, that they get a better deal than trying to lift that heavy stuff up
It's
up
almost
the
like
inside of the building.
it's almost
you know?
like you realise that when it's a bit too late, when you've already injured yourself. But when you're a young buck, you just go, oh, and you're trying to prove yourself, you know.
Absolutely.
And then
Yeah, that's right.
and then you just thought, you know what, I'll just do it. I'm young, and then
Yeah,
when you're older,
exactly.
you feel it, and then you tell the young blokes, hey, calm down, you know.
Yeah, that's exactly
and
right,
Ash,
Sonny.
that's what Ash is doing to me, Sonny. Calm down.
Yeah,
You still
that's
got
good.
you still got a life to live.
Prepare for landing. Can you hear the plane in the
You sure
background?
have. Yeah, I can, mate. That's it.
Prepare for
Yeah,
landing.
that's it. Well, how old are you now, Sonny?
I am 32. 32. You kind
Oh,
of
you're only young, mate.
After 30, you just your birthdays are all the same. So, you know.
I thought that after 40, mate.
Greg,
still young.
Greg, as you know, he's got a head on him like he's 50. He's a very calm fella, and he's got a young body, and he makes some very good decisions at work and in life. And I tip my cap to him, mate. He's a good looking rooster, and
Oh, there you go.
he is the
That's
future.
good. You need that.
Growing up thinking
He's the future. That's right.
I
That's
got
good.
an average lid, and look at him. He's just giving me all these compliments. What am
Compliments galore.
I? No, it's good. Like, the workplace is good. The camaraderie is good between the all of us, and the brotherhood's good as well. So it feels almost like it's a family, you know. And then and
Well, that's good. That's what you want.
yeah, and you look after each other like your brothers, and like you are a family. So no, it's great. It's
Yeah.
excellent.
That's good, mate. That's how it should be.
I think we see probably more of each other than we do our own family. So as Sonny was saying, it's a brotherhood. It's everyone's looking after each other's 6 and 12, and making sure that they're all right. And as we said, we need to make sure that we all get there the best we can to have a bit of time after it all finishes. So all good.
That's right. You got to get home safe, mate.
Are you heading up to Darwin this year, or where you going for your winter break?
I am heading up to Darwin in June for a couple of weeks, flying up with the wife and the kids and the grandkids.
Man, you got the whole tribe going up
Excellent.
there.
Yep. That's right. I mean, the daughter had to arrange for the babysitters to come, mate. So it looks like we're going.
That's fantastic. How good's that going to be?
Lovely.
Oh, it'd be great, mate. Be great. Staying in the city there, right near the water park, it'd be great.
Yeah, make sure you keep a hat on. All right.
I will, mate. I can't let this bald egg get burnt anymore.
Hey, Greg, thanks for the call. I do appreciate you ringing. That's fantastic. And have a good break during the winter there. And I know you go up there quite a bit. And that's one city that I still haven't seen. Mandy said I drink too much, so she doesn't think I should go up there without a leash on. So
yeah, fair enough.
But I do appreciate the call, and I'll catch you up on the road there for sure.
No worries, guys. Good to speak to you.
All right, thanks, Greg. It's good to see you, and we'll catch up for a drink soon. All right.
No worries, Sonny.
All right.
See you, Greg. See you. Catch you later.
See you, fellas.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye. How much fun's that?
Oh, that's good. I haven't. Well, we didn't have too much time together, me and Greg. He was out and I was in the factory still, so it was between then. But good bloke as well as the others working at that
Great
time.
bloke, and he came from the floor and came out exactly
As well.
on the same path.
Wow.
And once again, I tip my cap to you guys that have done it, because if you do stay on the concrete your whole life and you don't actually see, once you cross the threshold, how bad and how challenging it is daily to do your task.
Yeah.
If you stay inside, you don't see it because you're manufacturing. And that's your task, is manufacturing.
That's right.
You're not install.
Yeah. Yeah. And being inside, you sort of get complacent, in there. Everything's safe, the ground's flat. You got all these lifting aids. Then once you get out on site, well, everything's manhandled, lifting, knees. One day my legs were buckling. I buckled and they were shaking. They were like jelly. They had because you had to. What were we carrying? A big piece of glass. Oh no, it was a door. It was a door, and I had to go up a step. So I went and picked myself up that step, and I couldn't lift it. I couldn't straighten my legs, and yeah, she just buckled. I looked back. Oh no, everyone's seen me, and yeah, I was just like, oh, I shouldn't be doing this. Shouldn't be doing this.
There are some big weights. You know, I think if we go to the outside again, to the outside apartment where we work, the challenges on most jobs is never seen from the company. And you are in the theatre every day, and you might have one or two of those large projects per day that, you know, might have, 15, 18 items per house. And, the ground floor's okay, but once you get up to the upper floors, then it goes from 1 to 4.
Yeah, that's right.
You know what I mean? And then depending on the weight, it might go from 1 to 6, 1 to 8. So, exponentially, it just can go so quickly bad, and you've got to be safe. As I said, I'm beating the drum pretty hard on making sure the younger guys coming through, and I say that in total respect to everybody. What you do now will affect you later. We've got the green machine, we've got the that lock instigated those Mars something or other.
Yeah, I got a chance to ride on one of those down the hill. Wasn't very safe, but it was all for scientific purposes. We had to make sure that everything was good with that trolley. So
I've been pretty hard on Adam to keep putting it on the trolley because he's a big, strong bull, and and Angelo as well. He just wants to lift and lift, and I said, "You're old as well, Ange. Come on."
Like I said, when you're young, that's all you do. It's a shortcut that we do, and we don't injure ourselves on site. We injure ourselves at home, whether it be like we lift these heavy doors and heavy glass, and then I go home and I've got my jocks in my bottom jaw. I go and try and grab it, and it brings me to my knees just to grab my jocks, So
sure, absolutely. So you put 30 years on top of where you are now. Those underpants need to either come up higher, higher in the drawer, so you don't have to bend over so far.
I had a shower and I had the shampoo on the floor, and I thought, you know what, bugger it, I'm just going to wash myself with water.
It is, like I still do weights. I haven't done weights since my left shoulder's gone down, but I was still doing weights twice a week just to make sure that I was strong enough to do the task here. And luckily, I've put lots and lots of time into my legs, weights early on. And, I'm not a skinny guy, but if I didn't have the core I had, I wouldn't be able to do it.
That's right. And then you see myself, this scrawny little guy lifting up these heavy things. What's he doing? Is he all right? Oh, I shouldn't be lifting any of that. I'm not strong, but I've got strength, but I'm not, built strong. So I can only do so much, and I push myself to the limit, and then I end up hurting at the end of the day.
Prepare for landing.
Here we go again. There it is.
But once again, while the testosterone's high in the body, and your body can absorb and bounce back pretty quickly, it's just one of those things. Since those trolleys have arrived, and we've got solid wheels on some of them now that can take huge weights because you're not going to pop rubber.
Yep.
And I know that it's always challenging from time to time where we get caught up with 300 mil steps of concrete, and it's all right once you're on the slab, you can wheel it through the home.
Yeah.
But just to get it from the road or out of the vehicle onto the trolley or through the front yard, you still got 70 metres to the back of the house. So.
Yeah, but look, we do it. We honestly do it safe, and we try as much as we can to utilize these trolleys, and that's what we do. So, I mean, that will save us a couple of years, I suppose.
Hope so. Yeah, look, I hope it doesn't. It takes the stress out of the back and the legs and everything else that starts to break down as you get older. But no, once again, we'll just keep pushing forward and just keep trying to do it better.
Yep.
For everybody.
No,
so
we'll get there. We'll get there soon.
We can all see our grandkids later on.
Yep.
Hey, Sonny, let's go to where you were born in New Zealand?
I was born in New Zealand, yes. Yep.
And I reckon that might have been Dunedin.
Dunedin, correct. Yep. Well, my mum and dad were originally from Cambodia, and they got sponsored, and they flew them down to New Zealand, and then they gave them a house, and I think they helped them out with a job. Mum and dad didn't really talk much about how or any. Maybe they did, and I just wasn't listening. But from what I know is that they got sponsored to go to New Zealand, and then they moved again to Australia, and then they got their citizenship there. So yeah, I don't know too much on how they made their way from there to here, but we're glad we're here. You know, it's a much better life.
Have you been back there since?
Have not, and also Mum's been wanting us to go back to Cambodia, but I mean I haven't been there. But she wanted me to go there to see all the grandmas and the grandpas while they're still old. But yeah, I just don't feel interested in going. You know.
Yeah.
Back there, but I'd like to go to New Zealand, you know, for sure. And but I like our own backyard here, and I still need to explore here before I explore anywhere else. So
Still pretty easy to get around here, isn't it?
oh yeah.
As you know, Mandy and I, we just did 3,000 k's around the South Island there, and that was incredible. You know, the scenery down there was incredible. It was just I deemed it world class. It was as good as anywhere I've seen in the world. I haven't seen the high Alps in Europe, in Switzerland, etc. So I can't comment on those ones. But, you know, Vancouver and the California side through the Sierras and all that, that's all very high. That's all 10,000 feet. To see the lakes down there, Lake Takapau and all that, the water is just divine. You know, it's just that beautiful milky greeny blue water. It's just unreal. And then Mount Cook was pretty awesome. That was I think that's 3,700 feet or something. That's fairly high.
Well, eventually we will venture out, but now that we've got the young kids and you know we're still looking after the little ones. Oof.
Friday night.
We're still looking after the little ones and trying to manage all our kids as well. So make sure that they're all right, and then after that, that's when me and the wife will see you later, kids. You're on your own.
Yeah, that's good. You'll get time later.
Yeah.
You know, those 2 decades with children is fairly full bore, and it sort of puts all your money and time into keeping those guys afloat and keeping them fed and getting them into bed. And it's a journey, isn't it?
Yeah,
all day long you look after people, and then you get home and do your part as well.
You're working all day, and you're cooking as well, you know. And then you go home and you're going, why is this floor still dirty? And you go, and then you start carrying on. Oh, am I the only one that cleans up around here? But you know, you can't expect the kids to do it. Yeah.
Not at all. I think it's part of it. You know, the dirt on the floor is just as good as it clean. You know, it's you know, at the end of the day, if that's all we're worrying about, that's nothing, is it?
Yeah,
you know?
it's water off it.
Long
What
as
do they
we're
say? Water off a
healthy
duck's
and
back.
happy.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, that's good. So you've done I know there's a few projects there, the RAF base and the super schools. You were doing ventilation systems, is that right?
Yes. So that was my after the farm, because I work with my dad.
Do you want to talk about your dad first?
Yeah, sure, yep.
Yeah, talk about that.
So Dad would always work at the farm every day, and he'd come home and he'd never complain, never whinge or nothing. He'd just go to work, come home, have his dinner, do his dad things, and that's it. On the weekends, we'd go fishing. We'd do everything. We'd do all sorts, you know. So he would always buy us these shoes, and they were called Globes. They were skate shoes, and the reason why he would buy it for us is because they were sewed in on the soles.
Okay.
So we thought that they would last longer. So he wouldn't have to buy us shoes every 3 months or so. He would say, oh, you know, these will last us every 6 months. And then one day I thought, you know what, Dad, I don't want these Globes. I want these Nikes. And the Nikes were $200, $200.
All right, $200.
And then he said, $200? No way. He said, if you want that, you come work with me. You know, and this was at I was 14 years old. I just wanted brand new Nikes.
What's your dad's name?
Tech
Tech?
Lerm. Yep, Tech Lerm.
All right. Hello, Tech.
So he said, all right, on your 2 weeks holidays, you'll just come off the back of me, and then we'll just work. And at the time we were he was doing grapevines. He was pruning the vines, and he said to me, he said, all right, you do you cut with the little cutters, and I'll come through with the big, and I'll chop up all the big stuff, and you do the little stuff. And after 3 days, my hands were swollen. And there was one day where it was just pissing down, raining, just torrential rain. And I looked at him and I said, surely we're going home, surely. And he, kept working.
You get those clippers cutting, boy.
He kept working. And then after that, he looked at me and he said, all right, son, come on. And I thought, yes, finally, we're going home. And we walk up to the car. He opens up the boot and he grabs 2 raincoats and he chucks me one. Puts it on, back out there. That's what we're doing. So,
so you weren't going home at all.
No. So I kind of got my work ethic from him. You know, it's just we work in regardless of what the nature gives us. We just work, and we provide for our family. That's what he done, and that's what I'm doing. So it's lovely.
It's a good ethic. I can see it in you. I think the attraction that most people get with you is that you're calm. You can work your way through an issue, and 9.9 times out of 10, unless we have material that we haven't got, we can't solve it. But that attribute that you do have is fantastic, because I think it's a given. I don't think it's you can learn it. You can learn it, and you can get better at it. But I think to have that culture where you remain calm to start with, and just I used to say to Shano Stormo years ago, move 2 steps back, and he'd say, why? And I'd say, just move 2 steps back. And then a forklift would go flying through. And you know what I mean? They're the things that, they're the ones, the special ones that you don't even think of. You'll hear a sound and you'll say 21.5, 36. You know what I mean? I've got a mate, a good old neighbour of mine that has a fleet of trucks, and depending on what they're carting, he'll know the temperature that the cool rooms need to be at.
Right.
And it's automatic. You know, if you say potatoes, if you say chocolate, if you say rah, it'll be a certain degree. And that's his skill. That's his skill, is knowing what they have got to be at to do that transport over 8 or 15 hours, whatever they're doing.
No, absolutely.
And it's a bit like what we do. You know, you'll walk into a theatre, because every job we're doing is a theatre, and you work out, how are we going to get it up there? When we get it up there, we've got to cross over this. We've got some hook hinges to get some 1800 or 2.4 awnings in on the upper floor, and there's no, how are we going to do that?
Yeah.
There's a whole load of things that you just walk into. You know, my name's Colonel Moore. I'll be the first on the field, and I'll be the last to leave.
That's
you know,
right.
And you sort of do that on every job. Yeah, by the time you come home, you're sort of that worn out with making not life decisions. It's not like the medical industry, but you know, at the end of the day, all day long you've been putting out little spot fires. You've been built, you know, we talk about like the engineer, you know, he always built things to get it higher off the ground so that we had less to lift. All those little things that make a department work really well. And I think at the moment we've got a new, even with Lock On, we've got a new breed of Adam. Adam's a good thinker. I think he's come from the car industry somewhere.
Yeah.
He thinks, and once his knowledge comes on with the products, you'll start to find how valuable he is. He's a big, strong bull, very strong.
Yep, for sure.
That's what you really look for.
Yeah.
And then you'll just let the other guys like us just try to run around and do the fancy stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, he's definitely one of those that wants to get the job done.
And he's calm. He's assertive. He wants to get the job. in and out. He don't want to mess around,
Yeah, for sure.
which is excellent. So, yeah, I think once again we've got a change in there again. And I think if we can just take the knock again with losing the last one and try to get it back up to where it should be again and let it all calm down and just let it flow. You know, a good operation runs well because it's scheduled, it's sharp. You know what I'm thinking, I know what you're thinking. You know where to be the next step. You know, if you're telling people every step they need to do, everything takes 2.2 times longer. It's just a chore.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, but we're going the right way. You know, it is a rebuild again. We're getting belted up a little bit, but
Oh look, we still wake up the next day, so
we still get in that hot shower every morning and say, "What am I doing again?" Lucky I don't start early, Sonny.
Oh, yep, that's me. I start early. Oh,
How's that beer?
oh excellent.
Does stop the hinge from squeaking, doesn't it?
For sure, for sure.
I don't know if we finished with.
I know we
did we
didn't.
finish off with your dad? I don't think we did.
No, that was yeah. Well, my dad was he was a hands-on dad. You know, I did everything. I learned everything from him. You know, and
Prepare for landing.
I may have learned the calmness from him. I don't know, but I reckon I'm a calmer. So if someone around me and they, you know, spit the dummy or anything like that, I'm a calmer. So I'll go and I'll calm you down and, hey, you know, it's all good. But when I'm on my own, different story. I'm carrying on. I'm swearing. So that's when I get on the phone to my wife, and she's the calmer to me. So if I'm spitting the dummy, I have to ring her before I start going off, and she calms me down. You know, so, but yeah, what was I on about now? After my dad, oh no, we were talking about how the RAF base in the school. Is that what
That was coming next. Yeah, we were just finishing up with your dad.
Oh, yep. No, that was it.
But there was the ventilation systems
Yes.
with the RAF base. Some of your
that's right. So
prestigious work that you've done.
That was sort of my second. That was my second job, which was ventilation. I started.
How did you get involved in that?
So I was off work for a while, and the wife said, "Get up and get a job." So I went and got it. I went to Centrelink and went through an agency, and I was willing to do anything, whether it was cleaning the toilets or I was doing everything and anything. And then they rang me up and said, "Oh, look, we've got a job here for you, a TA, you know, for a ventilation company, and do you want it?" And I said, "Yeah, all right." So I went over there, and all I did was lift and hand tools for about 6 months, and then we were doing all the super schools, and we did the RAF base. We did RAF base, and the RAF base was interesting. It was good. It was huge as well. You had to get a
that was out at Edinburgh.
That's right. Yep. You had to get yourself inducted there, and then once they induct you, they take a photo. So when I first started there, the photo that I had, I don't know if I still have it, but my hair was nicely combed, you know, and then a year later, you have to do a reinduction, and they'll take another photo. And the other photo, I had scruffy hair, and it almost looked like I was from prison. It was bad. But the RAF base was interesting. There was so many different things that you had to do and things that you couldn't do as well. So they'd come out and they check your ID almost once a week, pretty much. They'll walk up to you. So the soldier comes up to you, right, and he's got this big German Shepherd right next to you. And in the induction, they tell you what you need to do when you get approached by a soldier anyway. So this guy comes up with his big German Shepherds, and he goes, "Oh, all right, mate, I need to check your ID." So he then steps back with his dog. You step forward, you put your ID down, you step back, he steps forward again, picks up the ID.
Yeah, it's a total engagement, isn't it?
He looks at it, makes sure it's all right, makes sure the same face meets the picture, puts it back down, steps back, and he says you're good to go. You step forward, you pick up the ID, and back to work you go.
Wow, how clear is the act? That's good, isn't it?
Yeah, it's excellent. And you see they do training as well, and then every day there'll be the soldiers, and they'll have backpacks full of gear, and they'll just be walking all day. The whole 8-hour shift, they'll be just walking around, and I think that's their training or something like that. But
And the dogs obviously are looking for certain smell. Yeah.
I think
canines?
it's more just to check to see if you are who you are and you're supposed to be there, and you're allowed to be there. So, yeah.
Yeah, I know that the some of the airports shut down sometimes where they got that many people that they can't put everyone through the scanners, and they'll just run the canines up and down the lines.
Yeah.
Because they generally don't miss anything. If there's a smell that they're looking for, they'll sit alongside you, and then you start to shit yourself.
Yeah.
You know what?
Well, what have I got? We'd watch these guys train these German Shepherds on the field as we're working, and they were yelling at their dogs, "Good boy, good boy," and he was smacking it, "Good boy," and I thought, this dog, how tough is this dog? He's and look, this dog just listened to everything he says. Come, sit, heel, everything.
They are buddies, aren't they? They are connected, those dogs, and with their owners, aren't they?
Yep.
You look at the ones that go to Iraq and, get the Purple Heart, and, some of them make it, some of them get shot, and, man, they're tough dogs.
Yeah, for sure.
They're tough dogs.
For sure. And they at the RAF base, they have the cladding over the buildings. And I think what they did wrong was they cladded it the same color as the sky. So it was a light blue, and whilst you're working, all you hear is this loud bang every time. And it was birds just flying through, hitting the cladding sheets and just falling, because they thought it just, roaming through the sky. So that was a funny moment.
Well, that's incredible. It is, isn't it?
Yeah, and then I did the super schools as well.
Yep.
And there's a few super schools hanging around. And it's a funny story on the super school as well. One day I was up on the scaffold, doing the louvers, and then I look around, and then there was every exit there was someone wearing a high vis, and I thought, what's going on here, And then there's a guy came down, and he was yelling not yelling at me, but yelling to me. "Excuse me, mate." I said, "Yeah." He goes, "I need you to come down." I said, "What for?" He said, "I just need to come down and ask you a question." So he comes down, and he goes, "Oh, I'm immigration." Right?
What?
Yeah. I said, "Oh, okay." And he goes, "All right, I need you to come to the lunchroom." All right, I'll come to the lunchroom. So we go there, and then before we walk into the lunchroom, the lady asks for our ID. So I've given her my ID, and then we went to go sit down, and the guy walks in, and he had dirt all over his jacket, like he tried to run, but he got tackled.
Oh, they've taken him down on the ground.
They've taken him down, and now he's going in there, and he's sitting amongst the rest of us. And there was only like the Chinese, Japanese, and
Give us your green card, son.
That's right. So I sat down, got my ID, and I'm waiting. All right, and then they'll check on the computers to see if you're here for a visa or you're a citizen or anything, and so you're yelling out names from the IDs, and then so they're saying this bloke, and he'll stand up. Yeah, that's me. ID. All right, see you later. You're good. And then another bloke. Yep, all good. See you later. And then they come up to my name, Mr. Sonny Lerm, and then another guy goes, "Yep, that's me." I said, "Hang on."
It's stolen identity.
I said, "Hang on, I'm Sonny Lerm." So I go up there, I grab my ID, and then she asked me, "What year were you living in this address?" And I was like, "I don't know. I can't remember. I was only a young lad. How am I supposed to know?" And then she said, "That's all right. Don't worry about it. Here's your ID. See you later." And that was it.
What about the other guy that said he was Sonny Lerm?
I don't know. He just sat back down.
I doubt there were two Sonny Lerms there at the same time.
No. So
that's a very, very funny story.
Yeah. So I did ask. I said to the lady, I was like, don't I get an apology or something like that? Because you just assumed that, I mean, you know, an Asian-looking guy, but everyone else was all good. You know, you got this Lebanese bloke, this Greek bloke, this Italian bloke. You're all good, but no, they're just gone for the Asians. You know, I thought, damn
Wow.
it.
Yeah, that's something I have never had to deal with, and yeah, you know I, I I think at times it's unfair, and we were in San Francisco airport one day, and there was a fella in the line in front of us that had a bit of body wrap on his head, and
Yep.
you know, they treated him very poorly. He had a little bit of water left, and they made a big song and dance about it. And I thought, just put the guy through the frickin' scanner and let him go. You know, like,
Yeah.
don't get over the top with. It's just not necessary. You know, like anyone that goes through the scanner, you're gonna find out whether there's shit in you. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
that's right. Yep.
just go through the scanner. If you're not satisfied, run the fucking dog alongside the person. The dog's going to smell whatever it wants to smell.
True.
But you know, to do that here,
Well,
I didn't even know that was going on
yeah.
in
Well,
Adelaide. So.
growing up here, you know, I had a lot of racism, you know, as you would really, and yeah, it was tough at times.
I bet it was, mate. That's not good. I treat everybody on their values, you know. And once again, I've already tipped my hat a couple of times to you. You're a very good person and a very calm man, and you know, you are the future where we work, and I totally wish you all the best there
Well,
with whatever you do, you know, down the
appreciate
track.
that. Yeah.
And that's sincerely, you know, that comes from a tradie. I'm a tradie, you're a tradie, so it's all good, man. It gets passed down,
Yeah.
and you know, with Wally gone now, it's a matter of trying to pass some of that wisdom down, and you know, I was next in line after him, and once again, it's not about me,
Yeah.
but it's about making sure that the safety of you guys is my paramount thing, because at times it gets compromised, and I don't like that over the buck. Just get the problem sorted out safely,
Yeah.
get it done properly, and then let the guys on the floor go about their task. And that's really all I'm about now for the next decade that I've got left. So
No, and all we want to do is to get the job done. That's all we want to do. So that's what we thrive for. So that's what we do. And sometimes, you know, you take a bit of risk just to get the job done. And sometimes it doesn't get recognised. But you know what? At the end of the day, I still come home and I feel like I've done a good day's work. And that's what I try and feel like every day, is that, all right, I've done a good day's work and I've done the best I can. And that's all I can do for that day.
you've got young Terry working with you now. What a breath of fresh air!
I
What
do.
a breath of fresh air!
Yeah,
he
and
is.
it's always, I mean, it's so lonely being out there on site, you know, as a contractor on your own. So, I mean, with Terry with me, it's lovely. I get to speak to someone, and sometimes after work, I'd go for a little, you know, sneaky beer with him, and then we just chat about everything. So, and he's my brother-in-law, my wife's brother. He's a lot bigger, taller, so I don't have to carry a ladder with me anymore, because he's my walking ladder. But yeah, I wasn't ready for an employee, some would say, but I don't treat him as anything like that. He doesn't work for me. He works with me, and we have a good time, and he thrives for excellence as well. He tries to get, and he's a I mean, he likes to make everything perfect, which is hard for him now, because nothing's perfect, right? So he thrives for that, and sometimes we take, like, you know, a lot longer at jobs than we need to, because he just wants to make it absolutely perfect. And yeah, I always tell him, look, we have to leave it for now. We've strained on this job. Let's just walk away. refresh, come back the next day and try and do it better.
He is a very once again he's a very calm fella, isn't he?
Yeah, his favorite saying is, "It is what it is," and I just get so annoyed. I said, "Don't
and
stop it."
as in regards to his groomed beard, I have rated his beard 10 out of 10 every time I've
It's a
seen
huge one. That's what we all want, right? That's what we all want. I thrive to carry a beard like that one day, but I don't think I'll ever get
Yes,
there.
I've had a look at it a few times, and it's not only symmetrical, it's very full. It's got good colour in
Yep.
it, and once again, he's a good size. You know, like we've got some steed in there now, some cattle that is the future. You know, you get these guys up, and like with Adam, I can see Adam looking, and when I work with Adam, because I work with Adam a fair bit as
Yep.
well, is that I want to teach Adam. I want to give him 2 drills. Give the fuckers 2 drills. Give the guys some sort of tooling so that they're not just sitting there thinking that they're just delivery drivers.
Yeah.
And you know, if we're now going to get back more so into having more employed guys out on the road, which I'm happy with, it doesn't matter which way it goes to me. But for goodness sake, set them up so that they don't want to be asking to borrow a tool or whatever.
Yeah.
Just let them be a little bit more forward thinking on their own. If I can show Adam, Adam and Terry really are going to be very good stock that we haven't had for a while.
Yep,
and
sure. And they're big boys.
they are very strong fellas. So, you know, there are times where they're lifting, and I feel a little bit guilty now that I'm not lifting half as much as I used to.
Yeah.
But these bulls just sort of come through and they almost push you out of the way, you know, because you're too slow or, you know, it takes too long for you to go down and pick up your jocks from the bottom drawer, you know. Put your fucking jocks on the 5th drawer, you know. But, you know, at the end of the day, these guys are, they are the future, and, you know, the next 20, 30 years, you know, in front of yourself. Prepare for landing. I think it's one of those things now to set up some really good structures. There's no one really left there. Bill's in and out a little bit. You're the future. You're the man that'll take the next step. And as I said, I'm now on the decline, so it's a matter of trying to keep those structures in place. There are genuine structures in place that are there for a reason. And, you know, we don't, and luckily we've got no real strange people coming in trying to do strange things and trying to dramatically change things. We're men, the majority of us, we're all men in this department, and we generally say it is what it is.
Yep. The famous saying.
If there's a problem, well, just fucking deal with it like men. You get a punch in the nose and move forward.
Yeah.
Don't sulk about it.
No, for sure.
Just get on. There's no room for all that bullshit. We don't need that bullshit.
That's right.
All we want to do is our task, put in a tax invoice and get on to the
Go
next
home,
job.
have a couple drinks after.
Yeah, do a podcast.
That's what we do.
We should have a little drop for Terry. Well, I should have a little drop for Terry. I got his name wrong about.
What do you got? You did
6 or 7 times.
Yeah. He said it was all right. He said, that's okay, you know.
There was a whole change.
What did you call him?
Adam.
Adam and something else, you know. And he doesn't correct you because he's just such a polite bloke, you know. He's just so gentle.
I know on that House of Hell job down there at Henley Beach, I reckon I got his name wrong 4 times in one day.
Yeah, he didn't say anything to you, did he?
He just said to me later, he said, I think you've used up all the names. We'll have a little taste of Terry, hey?
All right, cheers, Terry.
Terry, love your beard, mate. I love your ethic, and it's a pleasure working with you.
Yep, it is what it is.
Oh, that's a podcast Friday night.
What is that? That's the sticky date.
Yeah, the sticky date. I had one green and a bit of milk in it.
Oh,
Man,
lovely.
is that good? Man, well, we're up around the hour mark. We've done pretty well. So you've got. I was just
See,
going to talk about.
Where were we at? We were at yep, New Zealand.
Try to get back to New Zealand.
Yeah, so New
That's
Zealand. I was only there for the 3 years of my life, really. So I didn't get to see anything, but I felt like I was part of it. And I always had an interest in the ocean as well.
got plenty of ocean around there.
Yeah.
Yep.
But even with my culture, my religion and things like that, you
Yep.
know, as growing up with my family, I never felt really a part of it, right? And I never felt like my mum would take us to the temples and things like that, and I didn't really feel in place there. Like, it wasn't my thing. And then when I met Lisa,
Where did you meet Lisa? Where'd you meet her?
well, Lisa I met through a family.
Yep.
Right. And then yeah, she I always
She's got some good paranormal stories.
yeah, that's right. And she's got a good looking lid on her as well.
Good stuff.
So I'm lucky. I got lucky, and she's done more for me than what I've done for her. She's had a rough life growing up, and I want to make the rest of her life now.
Good.
the
You're a
best
good
that it
man.
can
You're
be.
the man to do it.
But when I met her, and I met her mum, who sadly has passed, it was a different culture, the Australian culture, and I fell in love with it, and then I thought that's what I am, that's my culture, here in Australia. This is how we act. This is what we do, and I kind of take that in, and I sort of stepped away from my own, a little bit. Not that I don't like it. It just wasn't how I felt.
You actually have made a choice of where you think you believe.
Yeah.
And I that's good. That's good.
And some of the stuff I didn't agree with the Khmer culture, and so when I met Lisa's mum, the first night that I met her, she cooked up a big spaghetti bowl, right? Her and her partner as well, and she said, "Oh well, in my kitchen, you gotta eat what I give you." And she gave me this big plate of pasta.
How
Huge.
did she find an
Huge.
Italian meal for you?
Oh, but I've never eaten anything like that. All I ate was mum and dad's
Man,
meals.
I bet your guts were gurgling overnight.
Mate. And she said, "You got to eat all this. Whatever I give anyone in my kitchen, you have to eat it."
Jesus.
So, guess what I did? I fucking ate it, and I ate it all. Right, I ate it all, and I was stuffed. And she goes, "All right, I'll give you about 10 minutes, and then dessert's coming."
Oh,
And
no.
when you first meet your in-laws, you got to make an impression, And her partner, he ate half of his bowl, and she said it was all right. And I looked at Lisa, going, "What's going on here?" She was testing me out, but she ended up being so lovely, and she was just amazing to me, and she encouraged me to do anything. She said, "Whatever you want to do, you do," and I've kept that with me, and now whatever I want to do, I do. Don't second guess what you choose. Just if you have a thought in your mind or a dream, you do it, and because there's no point thinking about it and then not doing it, and then spend the rest of your life thinking about what could have happened.
Wish I did.
That's
Wish I
right.
did. Yeah,
So
for sure.
just take that step, and that's how Sonny the Glazer came out. I asked my wife and said, "Hey, what do you reckon of this?" And she said, "Well, all right, let's give it a go." And here we are.
Back in the late 80s, mid to late 80s, I was a storeman there at Clarkson's Glass, and my older brother was the storeman before me, so I'd sort of walked into that job pretty easy because they'd done a good job there.
Yeah.
And I sort of walked in, and we used to have these automatic glass cutters that had cut massive bits of glass, like 4.5 meters by 2.5, 3 meters high, and they'd just free fall them onto the table, and you'd have an XY machine come down and cut circles, and you'd have very little wastage sort of thing. And I worked there for a couple of years, and that was the only time I've really been employed. Was from probably I started at Motor Traders in the city. I was riding a bike around delivering spare parts. in
Riding
1985
a
Christmas
bike.
time. And then 1986, I got this opportunity to go down to Royal Park there and work with with Clarkson's.
Yeah.
And it was a big deal, you know, that aluminium shop across the road that were fabricating, and of course they were doing all the high-rise buildings in the city. So I got the job to do the store, which I did for about 3 years, I think. And I was late every day, like 20 minutes late to clock on. And I had a boss that would pull me in and say, Ash, you're late again. You won't be late tomorrow, will you? No. So the next day I'll be 20 minutes late. Again,
No.
yeah.
Bad boy.
Bad boy. Ashman, you're late again. You won't be late tomorrow. Well, after weeks and weeks of this, I got into work and they said, pack your bags. And I thought, oh, well, we're going to sack me now. And they sent me down to the high-rise, the outside department. So we did the Myer Centre and all that, you know, all the high-rise, Grenfell Street, Weymouth Street. There was a whole load of stuff that I'd sort of indirectly been hooked up with the store, you know, getting silicon out to the guys on site and all that. Eventually, we ended up out on site. And then I think it might have been 91, the Myer Centre finished, and they laid everybody off. And I've been on my own ever since.
Oh.
So I've had 2 sick days since 1992.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like that, isn't it? You know,
because you're so self-driven in regards to, you know, you've got paperwork to do when you get home, you've got tools to get ready, you got batteries to recharge. It doesn't stop.
No. And you know what they say? You ask someone and they say, "Oh,
you're self-employed. You've got all this time."
What do you reckon? You reckon should I start my own business? For sure, start your own business. You work your own hours, you get your own clientele, and you work whenever you want. But you know what? Guess what? If you don't work, you don't make money.
That's right.
So you have to work every day. So it's like that, you know. And that's what I thought as well. I thought, you know what? It does really sound so good, but it's hard work every day, day in, day out, and you gotta mix the business with the family life as well.
And don't forget, there are years where it's bad. You know, we haven't seen real bad, touch wood, for I reckon since COVID's come in, we've had more work than we've ever had.
Yeah,
it's gone the other way.
Yep.
And
I mean, I wanted to be a carpenter growing up, you know, and look, I almost, because I was in year 10 in high school, and I said to Mum, and with an Asian parent, you know, she's always looking at you going, you have to finish year 12. Do that just so she can, you know, prance it around everyone. My son's finished high school. And I said, oh, look, Mum, I'm not going to finish high school, but if I leave now, I can get a trade, and then by year 11, I'm working as with an apprenticeship, and I'm getting paid to do something rather than algebra. You know, I didn't think that was. I mean, I'm not a school type of.
I'm not a scholar either.
No. And
I spent more time drinking brandy at lunchtime
that's
than
it, and that's what
never going back to school.
Well, my year 12, I didn't even go to a class. I reckon I went to the first one, introduced myself to the teachers, and then I went to the last one. And that was it. Anything in between, just walked to school, went to my mates who could drive, went to the pool lounge, and then just played 8-ball all day. That's all we did. It was rough. And I thought, oh, maybe that's not good. And here I am telling my kids, you must finish school, kids.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, I still got Reese. Well, he's just left Vancouver now, Whistler. He's been there for 2 seasons, as you know. He's now going to Japan for a couple of weeks. So by the time he gets back in May, does he finish his uni? Does he entrepreneur himself? He's the same as I am. A dreamer.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's hard work. You know, I think if you were ever involved in a government job, you should stay in that government job.
Being a young lad, and he's got, he's free. He's a free young lad. He can do whatever he wants.
Yeah, look, probably if you wanted to get ahead, go down to the sub-corps there and try to get a Sparky's job down there or something like that. Wouldn't that be wonderful? You'd be guaranteed work for 25 years doing the subs.
Yeah. But I think some things just land on you, land on your lap. I mean, you expect your life to be something you've sort of thought of, but then it always ends up being something else,
You're either employable or you're entrepreneurial.
Yeah.
That's really your choices. Now, only probably 5% make it in the you know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you're employed, it's sort of like a safe house. You're always going to have a wage. You're always going to have sick leave. And, it's not until you get older you worry about sick leave and all that sort of gear as you get older. When you're young, you're fit and healthy and rah. But I said to Reese, make it before you're 21, and now he's 24.
Right. Yeah. So he's still going. he's loving it.
Loving it. At some stage, you're going to come back to earth and say, what have I got? I haven't got a great deal of anything.
Oh, but he's got a lot of experience now.
He's got massive, and I look, I don't knock it. I actually endorse it. The young man now does do his travel and he gets the life experience.
Yep.
And that's got to be worth something in your schooling.
Yeah.
It might be worth 2 years. You know what I mean? It doesn't mean he should have to come back and do another 4 years.
But that's what he wants to do, That's what he wants to do. He's not like does he want to settle down? Maybe later on, But right now, he doesn't. He just wants to have a good time,
Yeah, and I'm one of those dads that does encourage that.
Yeah.
Because I hate big business. I'm a real knocker with big business because, as I know, if it's about the buck, I don't care about the buck. I care about the safety of my men.
Yeah.
And I'll be the first on the field and I'll be the last to leave.
I was always a family man, I've always looked at myself as having a family, and and guess what? I had a family at a young age. I was 18. I met my wife, or my girlfriend at the time, my wife now, and she had 2 kids. So I had to grow up. And guess what? I had nothing. I had the clothes on my back. Like, she took me in. I had the clothes on my back. I had nothing. No job. I didn't even have a license.
Prepare for landing.
I didn't have a license or anything. So, she encouraged me, look, you're more than what you are. So show it. So went and got went and did my L's and got that and got my P's and they drove me to work every day. Lisa or Terry drove me to work every day at the age of 18. They're the reason I am where I am now.
Well,
so.
Look, and you're giving back. That's even better. It's not water under the bridge that's not recognised.
No.
You've now got Terry with you most days of the week, and what an asset we've got with him. It's fantastic.
That's right, lovely. So
he's a bull. I love him.
Yeah,
he's a terrific fella.
Oh, he's such a softie. He looks like this big. If anyone doesn't know Terry, he just looks like this big guy with a beard, but he's just a softie.
At least I got his name right now. He
right,
respects me a little bit more.
Yeah, he did security one time, so be careful. He'll give you a little spin around and drop you to the floor. But no, he's all right. He's a good bloke.
Well, Sonny, what does the future bring you, mate? What are your goals in the next decade? You're 32 now.
So
where do you want to get to in the next decade?
I'm not sure exactly. Wherever it takes me, I wasn't planning on expanding the business at all or anything like that. But like I said, it just when things just fall on your lap, you just take it, and then you see how it goes, and you just run with it and see what happens. So that's what I'm doing now. Is I've got myself now, and all I ever want to do was just look after myself. I didn't want anyone to look after, but if I was to have someone, it would be Terry for sure. But when I worked in the factory, I was a leading hand, so I sort of moved my way up, which I didn't really want to do. I just wanted to stay, as a labourer, and I just wanted to go to work every morning, and then once I clock off, that's it. Everything gets left behind, and I carry on with what I got at home. And what I got at home was quite rough at times. but you had to push through.
Get back on your bike and ride.
Yeah, and just think, you know what, you know, you're the rock in the family. If you don't carry on, everyone else will crumble around you. So keep going, and that's what I did. I kept going, and I think everyone's all right now. You know.
Look, I think so also that the girls get put into a discipline early and then they get put into a system where us blokes are a little bit more, we're still hunter-gatherers, aren't
Yeah.
we? We're not that far advanced. We still try, you know, as Rogan used to say, the girls make everything,
That's
but
it.
we're good at earning money. That's the trade-off, you know, but if you can get your income and your health and your family and keep all those above 70-80%,
Yeah.
you should be okay to get through. And you've got to really just discipline those three,
Yeah.
and the rest of it sort of falls in
Yeah.
line with you. And you know, as a young man, you probably don't put as much time into any of that. Not you so much, but me when I was a young fella. But you know, at the end of the day, you keep all those things high, you got a good chance of getting through to
Yeah.
retirement. And retirement's not a given. Retirement's, you got to work hard to get there.
That's right.
And then once you're there, you've got to self-fund it anyway.
Yeah. What do you do then? You know, you buy yourself a brand new car.
Man, yeah, and a caravan, and then all your money's gone
That's right.
on a depreciating
No,
car.
look, it's been great working. You know, I've always looked at myself as a provider. You know, and being as I was a young dad to two girls, that was my that's all I seen. I seen, all right, I've got my girlfriend at the time with two kids, and that's all I have to take care of. So the kids were the two girls, Cody and Johnny. They were I think they were 6 and 5 at the time, right? And their dad, I knew their dad, and he's sadly passed away. So the girls, the poor girls, they they grew up, and they had to watch their dad sort of get himself sick, and then off he went, you know, and then he said to me, he's okay, because he knows that I will take care of his girls, and that's what I'm doing.
Beautiful. That's
So
fantastic.
and that's what I'll continue to do. Is take care of those girls, and I see them as my own, you know. So that's what I've been doing at the age of 18 till now, and the girls, they you know we got to look at the mental health of it as well. You know, they've gone through things like that. They didn't have their father growing up. You know, it's hard, and you don't, you know, you sort of look at yourself and you go, you know, I wish they had their dad as I had mine.
Sure.
As I had mine growing up, you know. So those years I just tried to be not a replacement, but you know, a fill-in for them.
Yeah, you're a good body there. That's
Something with
involved.
structure, you
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
And it was some rough years, you know.
I bet.
The girls, they you know, they carried on a little bit, but
Sure.
you know, they've come good, and they're pushing through. So
All right, there's a little Sonny Junior.
yep.
All right, obviously he likes fishing like he was taught. You were taught.
Yep.
By your
So,
dad?
Yep, that's right. So I take him fishing most of the time, and guess who catches all the fish? Him, not me. Him. We go. Oh, we try to go most Sundays to go, and we go just to West Lakes,
Yep.
and we go there. I'll rig him up, you know, as I would, and I'll put the bait for him. You know, I do all the leg work, and he just throws it in, casts, and he catches a fish, and he reels it in, gets all excited. I take a photo, send it to the wife, and he as we're fishing, he'll go, "You catch any fish yet, Dad?" And I said, no fish. He goes, "Oh, come on, Dad." I go, "Mate, who taught you how to fish, you know?" But that's what I try and do. I try and give him what my dad gave me, and that's just the weekends. But at the moment, I'm not there. I'm working weekends. But on Sundays, I have him on Sundays. So what we do on Sundays is we go to the Savers on Churchill Road. We'll get we'll pick a book and we'll pick a toy, and then we don't plan our day. We just go about our day and see where it takes us, and that's every Sunday. That's because Mum's at work, so I got to do something that will tire him out. We do go to the bike track as well. The bike track's always good, but I get scared because when he goes down the track, I think, oh, if he gets home with a bruise on his face, I'm going to get in trouble, you know.
You'll be asked to explain, I suppose, but
But he's a daredevil. Daredevil.
How old now? 3?
Yep, 3. And he's just a little smart ass.
Was the terrible twos hard?
Look,
or?
it wasn't too bad. It wasn't too bad with him, he wasn't. I mean, he would swear a few times and things like that, but he wasn't as reckless as I thought he would. He just wants to be a hands-on guy, like he'll mow the lawn with me. He'll get the whip snipper out with me. I bought him his own little toy whippersnipper and mower, but he wants to use the
petrol.
The petrol. He just wants to use the big one. So he's a doer for sure, and he's a sponge at the moment. So he'll learn and he'll just take in everything I do.
Isn't it fantastic? Like it's probably in the years you are now where you start to appreciate that you've got these young kids that you can now start to guide your not guide your way, but give them the information that can get them when you're not there. We just going back one step, when we bought this place, obviously Milne Road, you get lots of cars going up and down. So we took 3 palings out of the fence because the kids used to play with the neighbours next door. And that hole's still in the fence now. We say, don't go near the road. Don't go near the road. And like that must still ring in their ears now, 30 years on.
Yeah, as they're older.
The dad's saying, don't go near the road. Don't. I remember the kids, the first time they drove each other to school. So daughter Caitlin had the licence and Reese, they were at the same school at King's at that time. So I said, make sure when you get there, just text me to say you got there safely. And with the excitement, they forgot to text me. And I said, oh, they've had, I said to Manny, they've had a crash, And then it got to lunchtime. She said, sorry, Dad, I was so excited driving Reese to school that I forgot to text you. And I thought, I didn't hear any sirens or,
Yeah.
But to see them drive out there, and it's a bit like the hole in the fence, don't go near the road, don't go near.
That's right.
All that information that you plough into their brains, don't do drugs, don't do this, don't do that, be smart, be good to people, just basic wholesome stuff, And, to see these kids now, one's in Vancouver, as you know, and one's in London, and you just think, wow, those kids are getting by, they're making decisions daily for themselves, and, it's humbling as a mum and dad, and I didn't see a lot of them. I was away early on, in all the young years, and people told me, don't let it go because it'll be gone before you know it. And, sure enough, I was lucky enough to connect with them both, and I haven't been the best dad ever, but I've had a good connection with them both that, when you do need to sit down and have a chat, you can have a chat man to man, like no bullshit aside. Dad, you're a dickhead. Yes. Apologise. Move on.
Yeah.
But they're the things, you got to take it both ways. I don't know everything as a dad either, you deal with the situations as they come up and you just work your way through it, like we do every day of the week.
Well, who really knows how to be a parent, really? Is there a wrong way of doing it? I don't think so.
I don't reckon there's a wrong way. I think.
Well, you know what? Your kids will grow up, and then you can do everything you can to put them through this path that you think is the right thing to do. And then once they get older, that's it. They're their own person. They're their own entity, and they'll do what they want to do, you know? And that's what I've learned as being a parent. You can try, I mean, your morals will then flow into them. So they'll have the same morals as you, but they're their own person. They're nothing that you think that they are. They're just themselves. And that's what I've learned.
I always said to them, don't be first in line. Be second in line.
Yeah.
Be third in line. Be fourth in line. Don't be out the front. You don't need to. You know, let the fat fucking kids be out the front. You know, oh, I want to be first. I want to be first. I don't want you to be first. You know, but, you know, if you're around older people, have respect. Don't swear.
Yep.
Just, you know, if you're around people that are older than you, give them respect.
Yeah, that's the fundamental things that you want.
Give
them
them
to have.
respect. You know, they've been through life. They've made decisions. You're just a punk kid. So just keep it down. You know, when you're together and you're all blokes together and it's all fun and we all swear and we all have a great time, no worries at all.
Yeah.
But just know when to do it. And it's predominantly the male. You know, the male's just a hunter-gatherer.
Yeah.
But, and it's good fun. And it's great fun still to this day. You know, we're still doing the same things.
That's right.
But, hey, look, just in closing, as we know, we lost Scotty Miller. We lost,
Yes. Yep.
and you know, I've tried to keep this podcast pretty positive. We lost him a couple of days after Australia Day this year.
That's right. Yep.
We do have the two Drunk Aliens podcast. I know I've spoken to you offline, and we still have made decisions up, but there's an opportunity coming up soon to try to get that back on track again. And you're really a great candidate if you've got time to get involved with it. And it doesn't have to go from here, but you have that temperament to walk into that position again.
Yep.
And I say that in total respect that Scotty knew you. I respect you to hell. I don't want to let this go. I've got to go to Liverpool in September this year to see an old mate from Vancouver.
Yeah.
And he's got obviously a La Vida Liverpool radio station over there. So I'd like to still have that crossover that we can do live feeds to there and bounce off their UFO stuff as well. Yeah. And hopefully down the track as a positive coming out of the negative that you would be a very good bloke to fill that position, and we'll keep that going into the future and see where it can go. And if it all lines up, I would love the opportunity to go forward with you with that. And I'm not putting you on the spot. I don't want an answer. I don't want anything about that. But the UFO thing's real. The supernatural's real. We've spoken about Lisa's stuff. We've spoken about so.
And look, I am happy to help out and keep this Two Drunk Aliens moving forwards from now. You know, we got to keep it going. I mean, we've opened it up. We can't close it now, and
we're so close.
And
now.
the unknown, it's just it baffles me. You know how people don't think about what's out there. We don't need to keep our ears and our eyes down here. We need to look around us. You know, we need to explore what's going on around us because there's something going on that we don't know that we need to figure out.
Yes, I think it's all starting to come to a head. I think that before too long we hopefully find out what's going on, whether aliens are real. I think they're real. Elon Musk is still saying that he's yet to see one, so I think he is one, so I'm not sure.
Well, you don't know now. It could be. It could be. Any of us could be. Anyone walking around the streets could be something or someone.
But it's
that,
good fun. It's good fun.
It's definitely good fun.
Good fun to see, and you know they're pushing more and more to get off Earth. So there's obviously a reason why they're trying to get off Earth. So obviously to keep the human alive.
Yeah. That's right.
obviously.
Yep. The
So
half half human, half AI. That's what we're talking about.
Hopefully there's not a big asteroid coming, but who knows? They'll tell us what they need to in time, or we'll see it in the sky.
No, lovely. Yep. Let's move forward on that and see where it takes us. Keep that legacy for Scotty.
I think so. I think so. Sonny, it's been a privilege to have you here
Thank you.
tonight. I've loved it. And we could probably keep going on for ages, but I tip my hat. You're a good man. You're a man going forward, and you are the future where we are. And I endorse you as honestly as I could with anybody, mate.
Yep.
You're a family member to me, and I wish you all the best in what comes to you.
Oh, thank you very much. And whatever it takes me is where I'll go. You know, one guy at work told me that, and this is what stuck with me forever, is that money comes and goes, but smiles last forever. And that's what stuck with me. So that's what I'll do for the rest of my life.
Rock on, man. I love it.
Alrighty.
Thanks, Sonny Lerm.
No worries. And I'll catch everyone on the other podcast, I suppose.
Won't be long.
Too easy.
Can't wait.
Thanks, mate.